One of the country's most powerful lobby is facing an investigation by the New York Attorney General. Now, the probe is going to look at potential financial and disclosure problems at the National Rifle Association. It comes at a time when NRA President Oliver North was just removed from his position. Now, the gun lobbying group says it will cooperate with the AG's investigation, but the turmoil added with news of financial troubles for the NRA has some asking if this is the beginning of the end of the group. For the 360 View, we turn to our political panel, civil rights attorney Robert Patillo and Republican strategist Chris Neiweem, and here live in studio makes it even better. This is a gun-free zone, but it is definitely a passion-full zone. So I know both of you come ready to spar. I've got to start with you, Robert. President Trump says the NRA is under siege right now by Governor Cuomo in the state of G. Cuomo has said, I want to quote this, get this right, the scourge of gun violence is a national crisis plaguing our country and killing our children. It demands action. But does this kind of action actually make you think of going after an organization's tax-exempt status as action that's going to take guns off the streets? Or is it more just to take political power from away from a very influential organization?
Well, if the NRA was actually a lobbyist for gun owners, then that would be the case. Right. I used to be an NRA member. I left the organization.
As a Democrat?
Yeah, because I'm a Southerner, just like you're a Southerner. We're gun owners down there. We depend on self-reliance.
Harry Reid was a member of the NRA, too, so yeah, and he's not a Southerner. He's a Western. I think it's across the country.
Yes, we're hunters, right. We're fishers. We believe in self-determination. If it takes the cops 3 hours to get to your trailer in the middle of Waverly Hall, Georgia, where I'm from, then guess what? You need a gun. You can't really depend on someone in Manhattan would depend on. The problem is the NRA became a lobbyist for the gun production industry. They no longer represented the needs of gun owners. They only lobbied for the interest of Glock, for the interest of Smith & Wesson. And because of that, we do need to look at their finances. We do need to look at their political contributions. And the turmoil at the conference this week with Oliver North and LaPierre just further shows that the organization has strayed from their actual values and only seek to ensure profits for gun companies, not the rights of gun owners.
You know, I hear a lot of that argument coming from actual conservatives, Republicans, people that belong to other types of gun organizations. So, Chris, it was just announced that a female, Carolyn Meadows, will replace Oliver North as the next president of the NRA. She's also second vice president, though, of the American Conservative Union. So does this not make it harder for the NRA to say that they are nonpartisan when they have somebody that's so outright as president coming directly from a politically charged organization?
I think most people with that level of experience are going to have some sort of political background, so I don't think you can fully avoid that. So I don't think that that's going to be a problem.
Not some kind. She's sitting second vice president. I mean, she's still active.
She has a lot of experience. I think that they want someone with experience, and I would agree with Robert, but I just want to make one distinction that most of those organizations work on the issues that are getting the most attention. So we're not getting rights taken away in those particular areas of the organization's mission. But when you look at some of these horrible mass shootings, oftentimes it's been, for example, Parkland, Democrat policies that have failed to stop those types of shootings, but the NRA seems to always be the visual for those problems. So whether it's alcohol or firearms, we're looking at the production of a tool when it's really human beliefs which lead to these types of incidents, in my perspective.
Okay, so you look at that. So I have to ask then, I'm going to ask you, so that is it the organization, as Robert puts out, that has caused the demise, or is the overall issue, the Second Amendment, has it changed from when the original amendments of the Constitution was written? Are we in a different place in society today, so therefore it's not necessarily the NRA, but it's the issue that has changed?
I think that the circumstances surrounding society have changed, and I think that we need to continue to look at that. I mean, that's what legislatures are for. And I think that if you look at the policies that have been successful, I mean, it's big government has failed to do some of those things. But and look, every organization struggles with personnel issues. It happens. Changes are made. That's just the way it's going to do. But my problem with some of the Democrats is they want to literally give away a constitutional freedom. When you do that, you often don't get it back. And if people don't think that what happened in Tiananmen Square, China, couldn't happen here in the U.S., they got another thing coming, because it could. That's why I don't support assault weapons bans.
Well, we do stories all the time of governments going corrupt on its people. We would never want that here. But that being said, if the NRA is taken away, if the NRA demise, and we never hear those three letters again except in the history books, does that mean that the government's going to have free access to everybody's guns and that we lose our Second Amendment rights?
Absolutely not. We have constitutional rights that have been enshrined in this country for 250 years. If the NRA goes away, guess who gets hurt? The gun manufacturers, not the gun owners. I'm a member of the National African American Gun Owners Association, NAG. I'm a member of the Black Gun Owners Association. There are various groups out here who are fighting for the Second Amendment of rights of every American. And I would note the NRA was completely absent when Philando Castile, a legal gun owner, was gunned down by the police. There's no larger government overreach than the officers acting under color of law, murdering a legal gun owner, exercising his Second Amendment rights under the justification that he just had a gun. That's where the NRA is supposed to step in. If they represented gun owners, they will represent that, not just the profits of Glock, which is the only thing they represent now. And that's why they went bankrupt, not because of government overreach, not because of liberals, but because of their failures to represent the needs of gun owners.
Somewhere around this world, somebody just gave you a standing ovation for that sermon. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you. Thank you.
Good to be with you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.